Welcome to the News Hour. We begin in Gaza, where at least 16 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks. Warplanes targeted residential areas in the city of Rafah, where around 1.5 million displaced people are sheltering. Doctors at the Kuwait hospital were able to save an unborn baby after its pregnant mother was critically wounded. She later died from her injuries. Other family members were killed or wounded in the same attack. Elsewhere in Rafah, civil defence crews rescued a young girl from the rubble of her destroyed home. Israeli airstrikes have targeted a number of houses in recent hours. And now a mass grave containing 50 bodies has been uncovered in the southern city of Khan Yunis. The remains were found inside the Nasser medical complex after Israel's military withdrew from the area earlier this month. Hani Mahmoud is our correspondent in Rafah, in southern Gaza, standing by. Hani, let's just start with the latest raid that happened on Sunday. Tell us more about what we know about these incidents, because it's fatalities from north and south.
Yes, well, within the past few days, we've been seeing an increase in the air attacks across the Rafah city in light of the growing threats of expanding the ground invasion into the city, where 1.5 million displaced Palestinians have been sheltering since the initial weeks of the war, all the way coming from the northern part in Gaza City, and more recently from the central area and Khan Yunis city. The attacks are deliberately targeting residential homes with entire families sheltering inside, and this has been the pattern we have been seeing. Entire families being obliterated inside the residential home that they take them as a refuge. 13 people reported killed in two separate attacks, one in the eastern part of the city and the other residential home, the western part of Rafah city near the evacuation zone. That's Al Mawasi evacuation zone. We're looking at 13 people. 5 of them happen to be children, and that's what we've seen over the past weeks. The patterns of more children are among the highest casualties transferred to hospital, including a tragedy. A woman who was pregnant and arrived to the hospital with a critical wound later on died, but doctors were able to save the unborn baby. The aftermath of these attacks is people who are gone missing and trapped under the rubble, and we always seen the footage of rescue team on the ground pulling a young girl from under the rubble, and that's the case everywhere across the city and across Gaza Strip, where more people by the thousand have been trapped and missing inside the rubble for months right now.
And let's just also touch on this developing story about a mass grave at another hospital site. It's not the first.
Oh, definitely not the first time, and we're expecting to see more of this at Nasser Hospital. Just a little bit of context here. Nasser Hospital was stormed twice by the Israeli military. More recent, just by April 7th, when the Israeli military announced it had completed its military operations inside the hospital. But this discovery just cast on the horror of the ongoing violations of human rights inside these hospitals. Not only healthcare facilities have been destroyed and severely damaged, but the fact people who were inside sheltering, whether evacuees, displaced families, patients, or among the medical staff who were inside sheltering the hospital, have been killed and buried under the dirt in massive grave inside the courtyard of the hospital. The discovery of this massive grave of 50 bodies is very consistent with the testimonies we heard and documented by the medical staff and by evacuees and displaced individuals inside the hospital, who described the horror of the mass killing and the mass arrest of people inside the hospital when it was stormed by the Israeli military.
For the moment, Hani, of course, we'll continue to monitor events with you across Gaza through the day. Hani Mahmoud there for us in Rafah.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.